right. Good morning. Welcome. This is our Soul Center meditation service. And the live streaming has just begun, so if you're tuning in right now on the live stream, and for those of you right here in this room, live in person, I'm just going to invite you to get comfortable. And if you have any of these devices, for those of you who are here, something similar to this, if you could just make sure it's either in meditation mode, also known as airplane mode, or just simply on silence, that would be wonderful. For those of you streaming at home, you might want to put it on not disturb, or close the door, draw the blinds, get ready for our meditation time. Our regular service begins in about 29 minutes. That'll be our musical message. For those of you here, I'm going to invite you to get comfortable, and that would begin by an intention. Your intention to be comfortable, your intention to allow this to be a delicious, beautiful, deep, and profound experience. We're going to move into the meditation field. Our practice is that of a stillness meditation, where we'll move into that stillness via a centering. I'll center us. Some of you might go right into a deep state of a meditative consciousness right from the get-go, and others of you might utilize the centering as a way to let go of the temporal world and distractions. I'm going to also just remind everyone that every meditation has its intention built into it, whether that's mantra or activation, whether that's movement, whether that's visioning or inquiry. The intention of the meditation is possibly to get guidance or to enjoy a particular frequency, such as a mantra or an activation, or to integrate energy, such as a moving meditation, into your body temple. And then there's the intention you bring to the meditation. So the intentions we bring, they're very powerful. The intention to not be distracted, the intention to allow myself to have a deep, delicious, beautiful experience. So we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to offer those and anything else that you may have as your intention. And again, for those of you who maybe just came in within the last moments or so, if you just make sure any cellular devices are in airplane mode or meditation mode, the rest is going to be self-explanatory. I'll center us. If you hear every word I say, wonderful. If you don't hear a word I say, wonderful. If you fall asleep, that's okay. If you're wide awake, that's okay. Whatever feels right and good. One of the other intentions we'll have is that all the channels, all the meridians of your physical, emotional, and mental bodies are wide open to the free flow of relaxation and peace. So with that being said, if for any reason you choose to do this as an open-eyed meditation, you're more than welcome to. If you do it as an open-eyed meditation, I'm going to invite you to just find one singular point to stare at. Don't let your eyes wander, because your mind will wander. Otherwise, I'm going to invite you, as probably about 98% of us will do, close the outer eyes, we'll open the inner eye, and the rest will be self-explanatory. So I'm going to invite you to go ahead. If you're closing your eyes, this will be the time as we prepare to begin. And as always, we like to begin by first giving ourselves permission to relax. Just saying to ourselves in our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we invite, as we evoke, and as we allow the divine energies of peace, serenity, beauty, and love, goodness, and wellness to wash over us and to rise up from within us, knowing we have no place to go, we have nothing to do, except completely surrender into the deepest states of relaxation, rejuvenation, and revelation. I invite you to bring your awareness to your breath and your breathing without changing it at all, solely through intention, allowing your breath to become deeper, fresher, wider, all on its own. I invite you to observe the soft breeze that travels in and out, whether it's through your mouth or through your nose. And as it allows itself, as we intend for it to become deeper and fresher, I invite you to bring your awareness to your crown at the top of your head. And imagine your crown like the dome of an observatory, open to gaze at the cosmos. And imagine for a moment that you are breathing through the top of your head. The inhalation coming in through your crown, traveling down through your throat, into your heart. The exhalation rising from your heart, up through your throat, and like a plume of steam evaporating from your crown, releasing. With each cycle of breathing, you can feel the internal, eternal flame of the heart growing in luminosity. We take a moment and we allow ourselves to focus on the exhalation for a moment as the vehicle of release. And on your next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of any tension, distractions, concerns from any moment of any day. We don't need to know how or why. We simply intend and allow. You begin to notice the inhalation is drawing in the eternal frequency of serenity, peace. On the next exhalation, we let go of any sense of efforting or trying. As we inhale the energy of ease and effortlessness. On the next exhalation, we let go of figuring and analyzing. As we inhale the energy of clarity. And on the next exhalation, I'm going to invite you to join me as we let go of time. Exhaling, letting go of the past. Inhaling the eternal. Exhaling, letting go of the future. Inhaling the eternal. feel your legs fully immersed in a light, a luminosity, a weightlessness that begins to rise into your hips, into your lower belly and lower back, as the entire physical body goes deeper into relaxation. As the light rises into your core and middle back, and you feel your heart expanding as the eternal frequencies of beauty, love, peace, and joy overflow your heart center. All density is evaporating. That light as luminosity and weightlessness continues to rise into your cheeks, scalp, and we take a moment as we awaken the inner eye, bringing your awareness to the middle of your brow and allowing the inner eye to open. The imagination. You may see colors. You may see darkness or images. You may see an eye with an eyelid open and look around. Whatever you see, whatever you sense, just allowing insight to awaken. I invite you to continue to allow your imagination to open even more. As you bring your awareness to your left ear, to the right ear, and feel the inner ear merge with the outer ears. That we may hear the still, small voice beyond thoughts or words. And I invite you to feel your surface mind fully surrendering, merging with the higher mind. As we fully surrender to providence, divine illumination, fully awakening to imagine the energy and the ideas of the soul, the bliss body. And it is here that we allow ourselves to rest, rejuvenate, and relax in the stillness. Should your mind wander at any moment, just bring it back to the breath of life. The inhalation coming in through your crown into your heart. The exhalation releasing back to the soul. divine strength, clarity, optimism, beauty, peace, harmony, goodness and wellness all the way down to the tips of your toes. A contagion of brilliance flowing throughout your entire physical, emotional, and mental bodies. Now I invite you to imagine you are standing barefoot in the most beautiful spot in nature. And on your next inhalation, imagine your breath coming in through your crown, traveling down through your feet and into Mother Earth, where we ground. We ground in our world, in our lives, the eternal energy, the energy of the soul, the energy of the divine. We ground it that we may experience heaven on earth. And we feel it like the roots of a tree in the fertile soil. We allow ourselves to experience as above, so below. That our lives continue to expand and grow that divine heavenly light. Inhaling it, drawing it all the way down into Mother Earth. Exhaling, allowing it to flow into every nook and cranny. We take a moment in deep gratitude, knowing that as we attune and align the imagination to the holy frequency, the frequency of the soul, that only brings forward the divine idea. And the divine idea, the desires of the soul, only seek to beget good. For that is the nature of the universe, the nature of God, the nature of life. We know that life, the universe, God are synonymous with love, peace, harmony, the eternal frequencies. Taking a moment in deep gratitude, knowing that each and every one of us already has within us every gift, every talent, every ability to feel, see, hear, know, embody, imbue, radiate the energy of the divine as you, as me, to understand the true meaning of being born in the image and likeness of God. Beyond our personality, beyond any of the identifiers of our age, name, gender, race. There is an infinite angelic light, and we allow that to radiate itself. Truly grateful for this time, knowing there is no difficulty in the divine. There is an ease, a spaciousness, an intelligence, a power, a presence, a love that is seeking to have its way, bless its way, know its way, express its way, to, through, and as each and every one of us. We have grounded it so, and we are allowing it to be so. We allow it to go before us, behind us, up and down, in all dimensions of all incarnations, to make the crooked path straight. And we simply agree to continue to allow it to be, as we come back into a lucid state of divine awareness, simply by saying, and so it is. Amen. And as we come back, you're more than welcome to stay in the state if you want to. You can open your eyes and stretch a little bit. For those of you online, for those of you here, this concludes our meditation service. We're going to begin our music and our message in about 4 or 5 minutes. So if you want to take a moment to take a break to the restrooms here, out there, you know where your restrooms are. And we will be back in just about 5 minutes. Bless you.
That's very rare.
I just want to say good morning. Say,
Hey, good morning. How are you?
good. You're in a good mood today.
How's that?
You're in a good mood today.
I hope so.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Dress.
Some of them are console. It's a state between 13 and 18. I honestly, like, someone's trying to tell me about what their eye condition is. Some of them I know, okay. The details from my hearing. Hold on a minute, I gotta go look. Like, I don't have this stored in my head. So how do you appreciate when you have patients like that? Because you're meditating, maybe they're
Huh? What's going on? A little cramped here, but people can squeeze through. I push more by the alley.
it's hard because I'm
I won't forget.
No, I don't get it. I sit by it instead of saying
I like that. Ah, you're welcome. I heard a bird. How does it feel before No. Yeah, now I'm
I see some new faces, which is exciting. And my name is Jessica Suslik, and I'm the co-founder of Soul Center OC with my mom, our angel in heaven, who's doing big things for us from the other side. We started Soul Center OC to bring the teachings of Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith and the Agape International Spiritual Center to Orange County, and all other truth teachers that have come before our movement. We celebrate and honor. And let's stand and say our declaration that is in your program. There is one life, and that life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life now. I am here to receive the divine message for me. I am awake, I am tapped in, and I am transformed. You may be seated. And when we say, I'm here to receive the divine message for me, I can't tell you how many times after service I hear from our community members that Reverend Keith was talking directly, to you or to me. And so it's, how you take the message and walk through the week is a beautiful gift. So we are looking for our permanent building. Some of you may or may not know that our 10-year anniversary is in January, and we are holding that we will be in our next iteration of Soul Center by then. And so big things are happening energetically, and I'd like to take this and hand this out. Our beautiful Diana July created these for us. If you already have one, please pass along. If you don't, please take one and stick it in your glove box, maybe put it on your mirror when you're shaving or brushing your teeth, or in your purse while you're waiting at the dentist's office or anywhere. And repeat these for us. These are affirmations, and just know that the energy since Diana created these has shifted. We've seen a lot of new buildings come into our awareness. Nothing's been exactly perfect, but it's happening, and it's a beautiful evolution. So please participate in the building energy by taking one and knowing that we are going to have a perfect home by January, by December.
Yes!
Angelina will be doing our announcements.
Good morning, everybody!
Good morning.
Remember to turn your phones off, please. And let's go over the events and classes. Reverend Keith's Daily Affirmative Prayer streams live on Soul Center's Facebook page or Zoom, 9:30 a.m. Pacific daily, except Sundays because we're here. The link is on our newsletter, or you can go to soulcenteroc.com. A Course in Miracles with Akiva Beckwith is normally on Tuesdays, 6 to 8. However, for now, it is held 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursdays. Same Zoom info as always. It'll resume to Tuesdays beginning July 25th. Join anytime throughout the year. Details are on soulcenteroc.com. This month's Munch and Mingle, which we have on the last Sunday monthly, is actually going to be held at Diane's. Come on up, girl. So Diana is hosting a fabulous summer splash party. She is our resident mermaid. Please pick one of these up at the welcome table, and you'll get all the information there. We're really looking forward to it. And RCP, there's a sign-up sheet just so we know how many towels, etc., or other things that may be needed. Chairs, yes. And then we're very excited to announce that our 10-year anniversary month is coming up. So if you're interested in volunteering or things like that, please see Jessica.
10-year anniversary month is in January, and I know many of you participated in our events last year, and it was a really fun celebration as we launched our 10th year. So this year will be even better, and we're starting planning the festivities now. So please contact me if you'd like to be on that committee. We have a lot of fun, and we'll create some really great fellowship opportunities.
Every single weekend, usually.
Yeah.
A lot of good talks, a lot of dancing, and all of that. And to stay informed for these events and others, sign up for our weekly newsletter at soulcenteroc.com. And of course, for the events, including Diana's party next weekend, we're looking for volunteers. It's not a heavy lift at all, and it's a great opportunity to make some new and amazing friendships. And Soul Circles, that's another opportunity to connect with other people, and sometimes we need kind of a friend to talk to, And these provide an amazing opportunity. Also, people go out to lunch and museums and party together, etc. So that can be found at soulcirclesoc@gmail.com. And now, let's...
Hold on,
Whoop.
1 second. Speaking of volunteering, it takes a village when it comes to volunteering, and there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I'm Reverend Keith, for those of you who don't know me, and you're new here today. And every so often, about once a month lately, we've been honoring people who are doing exceptional and glorious work behind the scenes to make what we do so wonderful. And that person this week happens to be our wonderful Angelina. We didn't comment, I'm not telling them that that's what's happening, so that it can be somewhat of a surprise. And we truly are grateful. She does a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes that a lot of you just aren't aware of. We're doing our job right. It looks like we're just not doing very much at all. And she's doing a lot behind the scenes. We're grateful for you, and I'm just going to invite Birgit to share a couple words.
I would just add to all of that Angelina brings such enthusiasm, such passion, such charisma, and just joy and beauty into everything she does. I know a lot of you have interacted with her personally, and we are just so fortunate to have her as part of our community. So we're very blessed, and we want to thank you for just always being available and saying yes.
No, I mean, Soul Center, from the day one, I signed up to be part of the Green Committee. I just was drawn. Reverend Keith spoke to me that day, and the people that just welcomed me in, and I just felt like I belonged. These are real people, I could talk to them. And through the pandemic, I mean, I didn't have a job here and there, and I just kept listening and taking the classes and being coachable. And then I got a little job, and then I said, you know what, let me look at my tithing. And I said, really? That much? Holy cow. And I went ahead and upped it, and I got a huge raise, man. So I've never made so much money. So that, it's true, it works. So, and thank you. I mean, it's just the opportunity that I'm given to connect and volunteer. It's just, I mean, I consider most of my friends Soul Center peeps that so I just love it. It's the kind of people I want to hang out with and have a good time with. So thank you so much.
And now we're gonna sing. Yes, and now we want to welcome Kristen Lattis. It's her first time with us, but let me also note that she stepped in kind of last minute. We had an adjustment for the local talent this weekend, and so thank you so much for coming.
No worries.
And so happy to have you.
Thank you, Jessica.
And Brian and Jesse, of course. It sounds like we're gonna have fun this morning.
Oh, yes.
Use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. I used to think God was the sun, God is the sun, but God's so much more than the earth and the stars and all of creation. God is creator, all in all, needing us to shine His light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for must they do? Command my life, it's here for you. God is the love that heals all creation. God is creator, makes all things new, healing us to shine its light as me, as you. So use me, oh God, I stand for you, and here I'll abide as you show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do. Show me all that I must do.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Michelle Lipton.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. And our reading is from Spiritual Economics by Eric Butterworth. When something in your world is awry, and harmony in the office, a business venture that is not working out, or a bank balance that is insufficient to meet current obligations, normally the first concern is to set things right. However, when you understand the law of visualization, you will realize that the greatest need is not to set it right, but to see it rightly.
Yes.
Yes. Right seeing is one of the most important keys to the effective demonstration of truth. More important than changing things out there is changing the way you see them. In the words of the medieval mystic brother Angelus, that thou seest, man, become two thou must. God if thou seest God, dust if thou seest dust. Thomas Troward puts the process of imagining succinctly when he says, having seen and felt the end, you have willed the means to the realization of the end. Having conceived and deeply felt something or experience, you have actually created the condition in mind that makes a particular result inevitable. It is fundamental law. So let us turn within and pray. I'm grateful for the beautiful summer day. I'm grateful for all you guys here, our beautiful, gorgeous congregants.
Yes.
Grateful for Soul Center and the community it provides. And just grateful for God, because God is everything. God is omnipresent. God is omniscient. God is omniamorous. God is joy and bliss, prosperity and benevolent abundance. I know I am one with this beautiful, magnificent source, and you all are one with God, the divine within. So I bless this service. I bless each and every one of you. I bless Hazel, our mascot, my Pomeranian. I'm a little biased. She's the prayer puppy here to just give love and support. It's her privilege and honor. We just want to bless her, keep her healthy. I bless the live streamers. Howdy. Come and visit sometime. I bless Jerome. I bless Kristen Lee, beautiful voice. And the boys. Brian on the keyboard. And just bless Reverend Keith, his magnificent message for today. I bless Patricia in heaven. I bless Jessica. And I bless this service and just bless all of you. And so it is. Amen. So it is. Amen. Okay. And now it's time for our agape affirmations in the program, on the screen. And I'll repeat a line and then we repeat it all together with acceptance, enthusiasm, and yes, Give it all you got. You're already standing, but please stand if you haven't already. And here we go. I am an overflowing fountain of God consciousness. I am an overflowing fountain of God consciousness. Sacred qualities and gifts of the Spirit expresses me fully. Sacred qualities and gifts of the Spirit express as me fully. Vim, vigor, and spiritual vitality renew and restore my body temple. Vim, vigor, and spiritual vitality renew and restore my body temple. My gratitude awakens and activates greater and greater good in my life. My gratitude awakens and activates greater and greater good in my life. Right seeing and divine being. Right seeing and divine being. That is my destiny. That is my destiny. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. Amen. You may now be seated. And you know what this means? These beautiful blue shawls.
Yes.
Means that anyone who would like to have some confidential private counseling on the patio, I'm here today. My blue shawl, Susan's here. I don't know if there's other licensed prayer chaplains, but we're just here to serve you. And so if you'd like a prayer today, meet us out there.
Thank you so much for having me. It's nice to see your smiling faces. How's everybody doing? We wanted to do this song called Go Light Your World, but we had the inspired action it was all a brainstorm, wasn't it? To give you the lyrics inside your program so that we can have our own gospel choir. There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites the candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the Spirit, go light your world. Hold out your candle for all to see. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle some other way. See now your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without the flame. Sing with us. Carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the Spirit, go light your world. Hold out your candle for all to see. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle and go light your world. 'Cause we are a family whose hearts are blazing. So let's raise our candles and light up the sky, praying to Spirit and the source within us. Make us a beacon in darkest times. I want to hear you sing it. Carry your candle, run to the darkness.
Sunday service. I'm here to rev you up. That is the Reverend or Reverend, to rev you up and to really allow you to say, you know what? I'm going to make this life the best life ever. There is an emerging idea that wants to have its way to and through and as your life. That emergent idea is associated with the law of emergence. And the law of emergence is one of the many laws that governs the universe, like the law of gravity, law of attraction, cause and effect, and all of those laws share the same golden thread of energy, which is to sustain and expand order. And the order we speak of, that divine right order, is harmony and heaven on earth, goodness, peace, and joy, the eternal frequencies and qualities. And in the human experience, you've been given free will and free choice to do as you will, to be the artist of your life. You are the artist, you have the canvas, you have the production company, you have the mediums of all choices to create a life that is yours to thrive in, should you choose to do so. We are part of the Agape International Spiritual Center, which means we're part of the New Thought Ageless Wisdom teachings that you'll find in various centers around the globe. One, of course, is the Agape International Spiritual Center, where today they're celebrating Reverend Michael's birthday, even though... Happy birthday, Reverend Michael. I know your birthday was actually on Friday. I know there's a big celebration going on at Agape later on this morning. And so happy birthday. We love you. A big shout out to a happy birthday to Reverend Michael, everyone. Not know, Reverend Michael Bernard Backwith, the founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, is the one who said, we're going to take the bull by the horns and we're going to make God cool. We're going to bring sexy back as the divine. And I say that in a little bit of jest, but in full sincerity, because, a lot of people put the divine out there as some sort of maybe untouchable, untangible thing, or possibly even that there's a God that's outside of us and that is judging us, watching our moves, maybe is going to condemn us, maybe is going to keep us from the kingdom of heaven if we do something horribly wrong, which we know in our principles and teachings, and is just the universal truth, is not true. God is omnipresent, which means God is everywhere, omniamorous, all-loving, and all-good, all the time. There cannot be judgment in that. There cannot be separation in that. There is only oneness, and this human experience is an experience where you get to frolic in the amusement park of humanity, in the amusement park of planet Earth, and create to your heart's desire. And I'm going to emphasize heart's desire. Heart's desire means that you're allowing the desires of your soul to flow down into your heart, and then you say, yes, I will allow that. When we were singing that song earlier, use me, and we say, command my hands, what must they do? We're not talking about some God outside of us that's saying, I need you to do this. We're talking about your soul's desires, the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that make your heart sing. You're basically saying to yourself, I'm commanding my hands to do the work of the divine, which is the work of my soul, which is the work of the true me, the real deal. So it's not something outside of us, it's something within us, which is the essence of being born in the image and likeness of God. And that somehow gets lost. That right there is a grand and glorious experience to reveal itself in our consciousness. The topic of today is the art of imagining. To use your imagination, to attune your imagination to your soul. To align to the divine design of your soul. That is your job. You might have missed that when you filled out your application to come to planet Earth. And they said, well, there's a job description here. And that job description is, you are to go down into the material world where there is going to be contrast. And you're going to paint or film or dance or sing something magnificent. And then in the small print it said, but beware. Beware of the illusion of space and time that might try to bamboozle you to thinking that there is duality. We come down into duality to express singularity, and that is oneness, so that we may experience heaven on earth. Duality is where you get to have the experience. Singularity is having the experience of bliss. So the art of imagining, because your imagination is probably one of the most powerful tools you will ever utilize while you're here on planet Earth. You've got your gifts and you've got your talents, but without your imagination, then they can sit there dormant, unused. Lots of people have dormant, unused talents and gifts because perhaps once upon a time somebody said, oh, you're not smart enough, you're not talented enough, you're not good enough, and we believed them, and so then we allowed that to influence our lives. But that's, if we want to let the universe, if we want to allow God to return the years the locusts have eaten, then we'll understand what that means. That means that we utilize the law of transmutation to alchemize, purify, redeem, forgive, so that we can make all things new. And that's one of the tools in our toolbox. You get out your little toolbox with all your paintbrushes and everything to create a life that you would like to live. And I want to emphasize, create a life that you would like to live. Most of us, most people are out there living somewhat of a mediocre version, not the highest, greatest, grandest vision and version of their life. Some are doing life management skills. We're going to manage through practical ways and means. I'm going to manage my anger. I'm going to manage this relationship. I'm going to manage my feelings. And I'm not going to really take part in transmutation or alchemy. We want to make sure that we understand consciousness. There's lowercase c consciousness, which is your surface mind. You wake up in the morning, you're awake, you're conscious. But are you capital C conscious? Capital C consciousness means you've moved into your higher mind. You've allowed yourself to become one with the divine mind. That's what meditation is. Meditation allows you to move into a state of holy consciousness, unmoved by the world of effects, to return to first cause. First cause is when we say, in the beginning is the Word. In the beginning is first cause. That's where infinite benevolent potential and possibilities are. That's where you're like, what am I going to do with this life? What brilliance of radiance. The law of radiance is just simply the divine idea shining itself through you. Most of us have filters like a lampshade on a light bulb that prevent the radiance from shining through. Some have thin little veils of a lampshade and some have thicker ones. Have you ever seen one of those lampshades where it's so thick and so dense that you see the brightness coming out of the top and the bottom, but hardly any light coming out the side? And then there's other lampshades where you can really see the luminosity shining through. Well, those denser ones are kind of blocking the radiance of your soul, radiance of the desires that are seeking to express. We're here to, instead of putting on the lampshade at the party, we're taking it off. We're allowing ourselves to really, if we're going to get jiggy, we're not going to put on the lampshade, we're going to take it off. We're going to allow ourselves to move into that space of grace. We're going to understand that in our community, we don't shy away from science. Science, the word science from the Greek root, just means to know. So we want to know how things go. Now, where we in a spiritual community might kind of have a different aspect from science is we know that there's something beyond. We know universal law and universal truth triumphs over factual evidence. Science community likes to rely on factual evidence. And time again, over the centuries, we've seen Western science where it's like, oh, once upon a time, we thought the atom was the smallest unit of measure, and we're going to absolutely agree that that's what it is. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes along with a stronger electron microscope, and quarks, oh, look, there's a smaller unit of measure. Once upon a time, the word of science said that the planets revolved around the Earth, and then, oh, lo and behold, the Earth and the planets revolve around the sun. And all of this started to debunk what was kept as fact. I want to make sure that none of you are allowing yourself to be factual and to remember to be actual. What actually is. Facts are of the temporal world. Actuality is of the divine. I don't need to get wrapped up in facts. I I need to get wrapped up in the actual idea of my life, which means I gotta be still and know that I am. So the eternal is the beginning. That's first cause. That's the absolute. That's where we go in the divine. Now, there's a phenomena in the human experience which tethers you to space and time. They're streams of energy. Streams of energy tether you to space and time to the degree that you clamp down on them. What does that mean? It means once you form a belief, once you take an idea and bring it in and make it a belief, then that belief is going to continue to perpetuate itself as long as you hold it as a belief. Whatever that belief is, good or bad. Now, where some people get confused and think, oh, you know, when it says in Scripture that you have to, that God is no respecter of persons, that does not mean that God is impersonal and doesn't care. God is a love beyond our wildest dreams. Bliss and nirvana just begin to describe. If any of you have had a nirvanic experience, a blissful experience, I'm not talking about a pleasurable ecstasy kind of experience. I'm talking about bliss, which is peace and joy and beauty and an awe that something greater is taking place. There's a mind, a love, and a presence that loves you so much that wants you to have your joy so badly that that's all it does. The universe operates out of singularity. So we want to make sure that we participate in that, and the entirety of the journey is to be able to decipher through meditation. So if we're going to practice the art of imagining, we have to understand the temporal imagination versus the eternal imagination, the horizontal imagination versus the vertical imagination. The horizontal imagination, I'm imagining what I've seen out in the world. Oh my goodness, I saw these things, and then I start to regurgitate them and imagine that they continue to perpetuate themselves over and over. Years ago, to just kind of give an example of how a stream of consciousness, lowercase c consciousness, can affect your world, I was working with a couple, actually a gentleman who had been married and then they got a divorce because they lost one of their children when the child was about 1.5 years old. The two parents there was a horrific accident. I can't imagine anything worse than losing your child. And the husband had a particularly hard time with the whole experience. He went into a deep depression, and he started to make definitions about things. And, you know, they went through the typical thing. They went into counseling. They went into kind of grieving and processing and moving through the grieving process. But it was a little bit more challenging for the husband than it was for the wife. And the husband had decided that he was not going to have children because he couldn't stand the pain of the experience of losing his child. And so that was a big point of contention in their marriage. So over a while, as she kind of sat with like, oh well, he'll grow out of it, he'll adjust, and her biological clock was kind of ticking, and she really wanted to have children. Well, when it became in her awareness to the point where she thought that he wouldn't be able to come around, and she really wanted to have children, then they decided to split. And she went off, and he started to experience things in his life where it started to just take him down and down and down. Now, what had happened was, you launch an energetic stream of energy. I make a choice, and then we all know that energy and motion stays in motion. My choice and my belief is going to go before me and make the straight path crooked. That means that that belief is going to pave the road according to my free will. My free will says I get to believe whatever I want to believe. I've launched that stream of consciousness, and now all of a sudden he was starting to have hopelessness and despair and things of that nature, and it didn't seem at that particular point that any amount of counseling was seeming to help. But oftentimes we know that when somebody goes through a deep trauma, they need deep love, deep compassion. That's what our community is about. Our community is about saying, you know what, no matter what happens, even if there's like a little hiccup, somebody has a little tiff with somebody else, our community, our chaplains, our practitioners, our ministers, we go through training where we don't allow the facts to dictate what we're holding in consciousness. If we allowed the facts to dictate what we held in consciousness, there would be chaos. We would be having to go back to practical applications of manipulating space and time with space and time, which is Einstein's definition of insanity. Trying to change the problem at the level the problem was created is insane. If this is space and time, and I'm trying to fix things within space and time, I'm going to get more of that. Now, you might get some temporary relief. We all get a little temporary relief when you want to complain to somebody, when you want to like say negative gossiping about somebody, and then somebody goes, oh yeah, you're right, that's true. They are horrible, aren't they? And then you feel a little better, you feel a little bit validated. But that's just a placebo, or more of a nocebo, if you're familiar with the nocebo. A nocebo is when you are at the mercy of the negative effects of a diagnosis. You don't even have anything about it, but you start to, it's kind of what a hypochondriac experience, or when you're having panic attacks. So we hold people in that space where it's like, I'm not interested in the facts, only to the degree that they lead me to what is actual and true. Only to the degree that it's going to lead me to hold everybody, victim or villain, in consciousness of wholeness and goodness. Easier said than done sometimes. That's why you gotta hunker down sometimes. You gotta hunker down in the divine. You gotta make sure that you become aware. And as you do, you become aware when you move into meditation, into the states of awareness. We've all heard of the observer effect. The observer effect is when science is observing subatomic energy that just sits there as potential. You've heard me talk about the photons of life. The photons are the light emissions back of everything that flash in and out of space, just kind of like a pixel on your computer screen. And those photons will wrap around, in recent studies, they will wrap around DNA, they will wrap around a gene or a cell, because photons react to consciousness. And there's consciousness in the genes and the cells. There's a code that says, this is how you behave, this is how you express. So that energy wraps around and it brings something into form. So the observer effect shows that when somebody is watching inert energy, the minute they start watching it, it's going to react according to what they know and believe. And then it starts moving. And so it was dumbfounding science for a long time, because this would react differently than this based on the consciousness that comes to it. Now I want you to think for a moment. If you had no attachments and no beliefs whatsoever, but you do have knowingness. Knowingness is the wisdom of inspiration. If you had no beliefs, you would have no streams of consciousness, lowercase c consciousness. We are here to actually transmute and cleanse and eradicate through transmutation, alchemy, and holy divine love, to eradicate those. So the gentleman who was afraid to have children from that point forward, he had launched a stream of consciousness based on a belief of loss, based on a belief of loneliness and isolation, based on a belief, as we did some deeper inner work, that he felt punished by the divine and couldn't go through that ever again. So I'll mitigate the pain, squish it down, and ignore it, and I'll just stop doing something over here, and then that way I'll be safe. Well, that is a recipe for disaster, because anything that you suppress is eventually going to make its way up into your physical, emotional, and mental bodies, not because it's there to torment you, but because it wants to be set free. The truth shall set you free is not a fancy little phrase. The truth that sets you free is a law that governs the universe. It is always operating. The truth that sets you free wants to set you free from any erroneous ideas, beliefs, habits, or patterns, so that you can move into a greater space of clarity. I'm going to give you one more example. When I was little, my parents had gone out for the evening, and my siblings were gone, and I was home with the housekeeper, and I wandered into our family room, and I turned on the television, and I went over to a cable station, and I stumbled onto the movie The Exorcist. I was about, I don't know, I think I was about however you all are in 5th and 6th grade. And I was scared out of my gourd. And I watched a few minutes of it, and then I switched over to some sitcom to get happy. And then I went back to it, and I was like, oh! And then I went back, oh! And that went on for about as long as the movie was. And I was freaked out. And then I started having nightmares, and I couldn't tell my parents because they told me I wasn't allowed to do that. But they knew something was happening. Flash forward 25 years or so, when I started doing the deep inner work. The reason that that movie scared me so much and scared so many people so much is because it's based on the premise that there is an evil that exists outside in the world. That there could be something against us that could take us over, that could possess us. And I was so afraid, oh, I'm going to get possessed. And so that kind of haunted me for the longest time. And I started doing things like praying in ways, keep the evil away. Well, we know in our teachings there's no such thing as evil. There's no such thing as an entity or an energy out in the world that is operating in opposition to the divine. Now, what does that look like when technically there is no difference. Somebody might have an experience of the phenomena of feeling like they've been taken over by something. That phenomena, remember, a phenomena is just an experience. And it's an experience based on a set of beliefs. Somebody might have an experience like that, but there is no difference between that and getting angry, or upset, or frustrated, or irritated, or sad, or feeling guilty, or feeling confused. All of those are creating separation, and none of those energies that create those experiences are real. They're all just points of view that come from our belief system that allow us to have an experience. We've all had the mirage experience where you thought you saw something, or you thought you heard something, and you jumped to a conclusion, and then you remember this quote, don't get your exercise jumping to conclusions. You want to make sure, you want to make sure that you do what we practice. We seek the kingdom of heaven, we go to the truth. That's where we go in our prayer. That's where we go in our meditation. We allow ourselves to get centered in the truth. We allow ourselves to hold for ourselves or for others what they might not be able to hold for themselves for that momentary time of possession where it's like, oh my God. Have you ever, an example is like, if you've ever seen somebody, parents can probably relate to this, where you've just been, had a day. You've been out there, you've been doing stuff, you didn't get a parking space, somebody cut you off in traffic, you get home and you're just on an empty tank, and then little Susie or little Matthew comes up to you and they spill something, and then the demon comes out and says, and starts to take it out on the kid, and which you wouldn't have done if you were filled with the light, filled with the divine presence, filled with your absolute essence. So I am charging everybody today. Everybody is being charged that I am going to cultivate my inner truth. I am going to transmute any streams of consciousness. If you were to just imagine for a moment that you had 10 issues in your life. Maybe I have a fear of heights. Maybe I have a little arachnophobia. Maybe I've got some unforgiveness with so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. Maybe I've got some issues of self-esteem. I look in the mirror and I'm like, whatever it is. Let's just say you have 10 issues. You are being charged today. If you have a fear or a worry of anything at all, I don't care if it's been legitimized as that's normal. No, we do not legitimize our fears and our worries and our doubts. We want to be illegitimate in that respect. We want to make sure that we transmute. So if I was just talking yesterday in a class, we were talking about this one. I used the example of a fear of heights because it turns out, as I used that example, thinking not very many people have it. I certainly don't, but a lot of people do. And I'm going to charge you with saying, you know what? The first step is I'm going to let go of my fear of heights. And then you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to go to some class that's going to make you climb 50 feet in the air. You don't have to go up to the top of the Empire State Building. You don't have to do any of that. You just start there, and you want to practice the art of imagining. The way it works is you take an idea, you take a holy idea, and you say, I want to embody this. So I'm going to take the idea of fearlessness, courageousness, divine strength, and then you allow yourself to imagine what that looks like in its highest expression in my life. You take the idea of a friendship that maybe has gone south, and you say, not getting involved in the facts. I am going to go ahead and say, what does this friendship look like? What is God's idea of this friendship? What does it look like in its highest expression despite the facts? The only reason that you might say, like, I'm done with you, you're done, you're an energy vampire, you complain, you got negative energy. The only reason anybody does any of that is because there's a stream of consciousness that was formed and a belief that believes something's against me and not for me. I'm going to go into this idea. What's it like? I'm going to take the idea, I'm going to imagine, what is it like? Nothing is against me and everything is for me. And I'm going to allow that to proliferate itself. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to procure it. The word procure is a wonderful word. It means that I'm going to obtain it with care. I'm going to attain something with the utmost reverence and the utmost care. We're going to procure our divinity. We're going to procure our safety. We're going to procure our good. We're going to procure our prosperity. We're going to procure our wellness. We're going to procure everything, sacred, holy relationships. And if you want to be like me, I don't take no for an answer. I might get a little frustrated once in a while, like, oh God, it sure seems like they're against me, but I'm going to let them be before me. That's what we're going to do. And I do that. You can ask Jerome. As I was talking about last week, you got to have a little feist, a little fire within. You've got to let the energy of transformation be bigger than the energy of stagnation. Transformation over stagnation is what we're saying yes to. So you're going to all agree with me that we're going to tip the scale. Tip the scale means you're going to take the idea, the T is the take, then you're going to imagine its highest expression, and then you're going to procure its demonstration with care. You're going to tip the scales of your life by moving into the TIP, the take the idea, the imagine its highest, greatest, grandest vision and version in your life, and procure it, and you're not taking no for an answer. We're all in agreement with this, yes? Yes. All right, so we want to make sure, one of the things that I love, I think I've heard from some of you that a lot of Disney fans here, and what I love about Walt Disney, and forget about foibles or whatever you heard, we don't tarry in people's foibles, we tarry in people's magnificence. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But Disney, most of you are familiar with Imagineering. Imagineering is imagination and engineering. You take imagination and engineering, you put them together, you have Imagineering. And up there in Glendale, they have a whole headquarters based on Disney Imagineering. And what do? They take an idea, they imagine what it looks like in its highest form, and they procure it into form. That's how the Disney parks are built. They take an idea, then they might work out a few kinks. They actually build scale models of everything before it goes into form so that they can work out the kinks. Then from the scale models, they make even little models of things so they can say, we're going to make it better and better. We are all going to take heed and lead from Walt Disney and know that as he quoted himself, or as I'm quoting him, that you restore order with imagination. We are going to allow our imagination to not fall, tarry, or prey to the horizontal viewpoint. That's not where the world is going to inform us. We inform the world, and we take our imagination vertical and say, show me what brings me joy. Show me the highest, greatest, grandest vision and version of this relationship. Show me where harmony, peace, reverence, and respect expresses itself in every way, shape, and form. That's what we do. We use the show me effect. Is it Missouri that show me state? I can't remember yet. But we're going to borrow from them. Show me. The divine will show us through your soul. And again, it's not something outside of us. It's just you. It's just you You and you are going to make a really great experience here on planet Earth. And we're going to understand what it says in Scripture when it says, cast down wrong imaginings and any idea that is not God. Cast down wrong imagining means when somebody comes to you with a little bit of gossip and says, oh, blah, 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 and so-and-so, and this and this, cast it down. I'm not getting involved in your past. I'm going to rise into the truth, and I'm not going to take sides. I'm not, well, you're right and you're wrong. No, you're right and you're right at the level of your soul, and I'm going to cultivate that into a harmonious expression, and I'm going to be in alignment and integrity with compassion, and that compassion means if I'm on the receiving end of something like that, then I am going, if somebody that seems like they're against me, I'm going to have compassion for them no matter what. No matter what. We're all in agreement?
Yes.
All right, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to move into the prayer field. I'm going to invite you to join me as we allow our imaginations, vertical imaginations, to run amok with you. We are going to transmute any streams of lowercase c consciousness from our awareness. That means I'm charging every one of you. If you have a fear, a doubt, or a worry, you're going to take it, you're going to put it on the altar, and you're going to say, okay, all right, fear of heights, your last days are coming, man. I'm going to be fearless. I am rising into that. So that's what we're saying yes to, okay?
Yes.
All right, we're going to move into the prayer field right now. Oh, we allow the energy of osmosis, which allows us to feel the presence of the divine. We open our hearts, our bodies, our emotions, our minds to the infinite, to the energy of our soul, to the energy of the omnipresence of God. God Almighty, which is not outside of us, it indwells within us, and I'm grateful to know that each and every one of us has everything we need. Every talent, every ability, every gift to feel, see, hear, know, understand, procure our good. We awaken today to holy imagining. I am allowing myself to imagine the divine in all situations, all circumstances. I am allowing myself to go deeper and higher, knowing where I am radiant wellness is, where I am prosperity is, where I am goodness and harmony is, reverence and respect is, optimism and faith is. This is where I am. It's omnipresent. These are the eternal frequencies that are having their way through me. I choose it so this day. I allow myself to remember what it means that each and every one of us, born in the image and likeness of God, there is a wholeness and an allness that does not tarry with facts. It is what actually is, the real reality back of all life. Oh, how grateful I am to know that each of us has said yes. We will relinquish any of the temporal concerns and return. Allow the returning, the years, the locusts have eaten, that restores and makes all things new. Infinite benevolent potentials and possibilities, infinite glory, infinite goodness resides right here, right now. I am choosing to align my divine sensorium with my surface eyes and ears, that I may see with God's eyes, hear with God's ears, know with the divine mind, which is synonymous with the mind of my soul, the mind and eyes and ears of my soul. The still small voice is my soul whispering to me the voice of God that says, you are the beloved in whom God is so pleased. We say yes to a greater and grander experience, that we do not struggle, we snuggle with the divine. We let go of struggle and strife, and we say yes to snuggling with the divine, snuggling with our soul, snuggling with absolute bliss. Oh, how grateful I am to know that something wonderful is seeking to have its way. A shift has taken place right here. A resolve that allows me to thrive, you to thrive, we to thrive. And it is from a place of deep and abiding thanksgiving, knowing that that perfect relationship already exists in the mind of God. Perfect prosperity already exists in the mind of God. Perfect joy and wellness already exists in the mind of God. I tether to it, and I reel it in, and I allow it to be real in my life. This is what we say yes to individually and collectively. We allow it all to be good. We allow it all to be now. We allow it all to be so. And we agree to allow it to benevolently and brilliantly and elegantly unfurl and unfold on our behalf by saying, and so I let it be.
So I let it be.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
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 Ashe.
Ashe.
Aho.
Aho.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Shalom.
Love.
Hotep,
Hotep.
and hallelujah. All right. Alright, it is time for our conscious giving, participating in the law of circulation. And Ryan was like, yeah, bet it is. So I'm going to have the ushers come forward if you don't mind. And for those of you live streaming love streamers, we're bringing the information in our high-tech way onto the screen, which allows you to participate in supporting our community, supporting our new building, our new space, supporting yourselves in expanded prosperity. Our beautiful ushers are going to come forward. Some of you might see these blue butterflies, which represent that you're part of our auto title program. And if you're on our auto type, we super appreciate that. It really sustained us a lot through the pandemic, so we're grateful for that. Different ways that you can tithe are you can text the word give to area code 669-342-2157. You can mail checks, money orders if you like, to the address that's on the screen or the address that's in your program. You can also Venmo to @SoulCenterOC under the business heading. And you can also go, for those of you online, maybe not just yet, stay on with us, but you can go to the Soul Center website and click on the Give button in the lower right-hand corner. All of these ways are safe and secure, and we appreciate, as the ushers go forward, all of your donations and circulation, and we hold it in benevolence and take it away for sin.
To invite you to sing along on this one. This is a song I wrote called Peace, Love, and Happiness. And you can get up and dance. Let's let it go. Shower to my soul sisters all around the world. And my soul brothers too. I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. In a series of synchronistic universe events, I ended up in Orange County. I'm grateful to be here. Can you feel the music coming through your soul when you step out of your comfort zone? As we're alive and beautiful, we are strong yet vulnerable. They say beauty can lie in the bubble, but no my negativity just pushing off your shoulder. Life is on our side, we don't want to drive it. You feel the beauty, hold your arms out wide. Peace, love, and happiness. You got it. Soaking up the good vibes. Warm my skin like sunshine. Peace, love, and happiness. That's what it's all about. You're feeling all right. All the little world is so tight. Peace, love, and happiness. You're flying so high. You're gonna be made fun. No, no.
work a little bit. This is where we extend our hearts, our prayers to our hands. We take a moment as we move into a state of gratitude, knowing something wonderful is only seeking to express itself always. Circulation, brilliance, beauty, joy, and that is ever expanding good. That is this day, that is our lives, that is this tide. We know that all needs are met, and we say yes to that individually and collectively. We bless this offering, we bless our community, we bless all spiritual centers and all peoples of all cultures around the globe. We say yes to more good than ever before. And as we say yes, remembering that we are the blessed and the blessors, it is our job to bless everything and everyone. We bless this offering, we bless our building, we bless everything and everyone. Radiant wellness and goodness, freedom and joy. And we simply agree by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, I believe it's time for the children.
Hi, this is Alyssa from the Enlightened Kids Village at the Soul Center. I'm here today with Sadie and with Maddie. Madeline. That's right. So today we learned about resilience. It's the ability to bounce back from any difficulty or disaster or disappointment. And so we talked about just some sources that we already have, and those are things that we can draw strength from in those difficult, challenging moments. So there's I have sources, which are forms of support and resources, such as
talking to my mom, siblings, and family members, and also teachers and friends.
so,
God is here.
sources such as
I am strong.
Yeah.
I am brave. I can do anything. I am powerful with my emotions.
Yes.
And I am a child of God.
I can sources.
I can do anything if I put my mind to it. I can make my future better. I can be flexible with whatever happens.
Yeah. And
And I can fly.
Yes, you can. All right. We're going to do our closing song. The words are in your program if you want to sing along. I'm going to ask you to rise as we sing it. We have said yes to ever-expanding good, overwhelming us, guiding us, directing us, uniting us, connecting us with even more good than ever before. Glory to greater glory is what we say yes to. We are grateful for this and so much more. Happy birthday, Reverend Michael, and hallelujah. Amen.